What's up, everyone? Jay or Solo YGO. I just want to bring you guys my first deck profile of from myself, anyways. So yeah, my deck today is Swordsoul 10E. It's got a moderate 10E package, pretty heavy on the hand traps. Pretty standard Swordsoul package, nothing too unusual. But yeah, hopefully you guys like the deck, and you'll be seeing it here soon on some gameplay on the channel. So yeah, without further ado, first card, pretty mandatory, pretty standard. 3 Swordsoul Emoji, she's the starter of the deck. All the Swordsouls basically allow you to special summon a level 4 water type, water attribute worm token. And it's synchro deck, so yeah, level 4 plus level 4 is level 8. And the other ones make different levels. Taya also makes the same level. But yeah, Swordsoul Emoji, absolutely mandatory, 3 copies. You do run more than 3 copies, basically because of Incredible Ecclesia and Swordsoul Emergence, but that's just for consistency in general. Next card, standard as well, 3 long one. He's the level 6 who makes a level 4 token. He's an extender. You could be a starter if you just want to go into Baron first and kind of, not have to play around Nibiru or worry about your other stuff getting hit by hand traps or anything. But yeah, he burns when he goes to the graveyard. Pretty standard, 3 copies of him. Next up, we have Swordsoul Taya. I'm only playing 2 copies. Taya is the other level 4. We actually have to banish a Swordsoul or a worm from your graveyard, so it's not really starter unless you get something in the grave right away. It is great for follow-up, and it's also good for facilitating Vaxia with 2 attributes for a double spin. But yeah, overall, I think 1 is not enough, and 3 is maybe too much. So yeah, 2 is fine, especially when you have 3 Incredible Ecclesia and 3 Swordsoul Emergence. So there's many ways to get into Taya or Moyi. But yeah, Ecclesia, definitely. I've seen people play 2 copies. I feel like 3 is the correct amount. Especially if I could see 2 if you're going first, but you don't know. I think 3 maining is fine. If you're going first, you can cut it down to 2 and maybe put in some floodgates or something. But going second, you definitely want 3. Because Ecclesia getting her Cyber Dragon effect is just so good. It's really, yeah, it could bait Ash, it could bait a lot of stuff, and then if you have all the other stuff in your hand already, keep playing. Yeah, Ecclesia, so good. For me, 3 copies is where it's at. And then the Rhoda of the deck, Swordsoul Emergence. Yeah, that's why it's okay to not play 3 Taya and really not worry about consistency with Moyi, because you have Ecclesia and you have Swordsoul Emergence. You can also go into long or whatever. Just really good. Rhoda for the deck also has the level manipulation effect in the graveyard, which is not really used too much, but it could be used to facilitate cards like Yazi. But definitely 3 for that one. That's not up for discussion. For the 1-ofs of the Swordsoul cards, I'm playing Blackout and Summit. Consider playing 2 of this at some point in time, but 1 seems to be fine. It's a really good card. And then I consider playing no Summit at some points, but 1 also seems fine. So it's kind of the compromise within myself. Yeah, I'm glad these became ultra rares out of Mavens. It's better than playing the common Blackout. Such a good card. Needed a foil printing, in my opinion. All right, on to the 10E cards. So it's kind of a moderate package. The only one we're playing 3 of is Ashina. I feel like Ashina is the best one, but you have to be careful when you use its effect because, the graveyard effect, not the summoning effect, but the graveyard effect to banish its special summon a worm from deck does lock you into Worm's Thrust the turn. So if you want to do Baron and all that, you have to do Baron first, or if you have Dragite or anything, whatever your non-worm synchros are, you got to go into them first before you activate Ashina. I've been caught up myself in that quite a bit, not realizing that. But yeah, pretty good these days about not messing up in that respect. For the other 10Es, we're playing 2 Vishuda, the Bounce, great for going second. And he's a level 7 body in general. And then the Tuner, the level 1 Adhara, allows to banish it from the graveyard and add a worm from banish back to hand. So, yep. And since we're playing a moderate package, we're playing 2 Vessel. If you do play heavily Dragon Circle, you have to play a Shatana, the water one. That allows you to dodge hand traps in general. But because I'm playing Called by the Grave, so I already have some kind of way of stopping hand traps. Then I'm also playing 11 hand traps myself. So if I can't play, neither can they. So I just feel like this is really good. It baits Ash. It's a +1 if it does resolve. I think it's just really good. It puts a lot of pressure on them. I've really been more of a fan of Vessel than Circle since I started playing this deck. So yeah, but you can't play Circle, you just can play the Water Tenny instead. Alright, now for the hand traps. Playing 3 Ash. Yeah, hand trap tuners are just really good in this deck because worst case you have other options. But you guys know Ash, I don't really have to explain her. Really good. Next one is Veiler. I know you guys are saying Veiler's, good card, but not the best in every format. The reason why I'm playing Veiler is I'm playing Psychic and Punisher as one of my slots in my extra deck. So, as you know, we have a lot of level 10 synchros. Let's say you use your Baron Negate or whatever, and it's already out of the way. You can actually normal summon Veiler and go into Psychic and Punisher. It's kind of like a way to cheat out an OTK. If you're just really down on life points, and then you can normal summon Veiler, go into Psychic and Punisher. Can't be affected if you're way down, and then it's really sacky, but then you just go for game, attack over them. Just OTK with 1 attack. Or it's just really hard card to get around, even if you don't OTK that turn. But yeah, that's why I'm playing Veiler. I know Imperm's a better card, in my opinion, maybe a lot of you guys' opinion, but I'm also playing Imperm, so didn't really have to substitute anything there. So that makes 9 hand traps, and then for the last 2, I'm playing 2 Nibiru. Yeah, I never like drawing more than one of these, so I feel like that's more likely if you have 3 in your deck, so 2 is fine. If I see it, I see it. If I don't, I don't, but I have so many hand traps in there already. Yeah, and then our 1 card to play around their hand traps, we have Called by the Grave. Yep, so I'm not playing the Circle or anything, so if I draw it, I draw it. If I don't, I don't. It's a tight 40 card list. And then for some other options, I got 3 evenly matched in the main. You can definitely play around post side and put in more going first cards or whatever, but evenly matched is really good right now. So, and the Swordsoul deck in general is just a better going second deck, in my opinion. You have the Baxia spin, the Baron pop, the Vashuda bounce, some extra pressure right here. What else am I missing? Yazi potentially. There's just so many things going second that the deck offers that it doesn't offer going first, because let's be real, going first, Baron, Chi-Chao, Blackout is just really underwhelming. That's why we are playing a lot of hand traps. And then post side with some other options, but yeah, so for the extra deck, pretty standard aside from the Psychic and Punisher. But I'm only playing 2 Monk. 2 is fine because we're not playing too many 10Es. Honestly, I hardly even go into the second, so don't really miss that third at all. 1 Yazi, pretty standard. 2 Chi-Chao, don't ever need the third. Second comes up a lot if you need the third. Oh well, it's just the other spots in the extra deck are just much more needed than, trying to run 3 Monk or 3 Chi-Chao. 2 Baxia, really good card, love it. Especially if you can go into Taya, because Taya is a wind and the water token. So you get 2 attributes, so you get double spin off Baxia. And then you can use Taya's ability to dump Moe to the graveyard. And then Baxia's second ability allows it to pop a monster you control and target a level 4 lower monster in your graveyard. And then you can just basically pop itself after it uses its spin effect, and summon back Moe. So instead of going into Moe right away if you have Taya. So yeah, there's a bunch of good option trees there. But like I said, that's why this deck is so good going second. It has so much removal in the extra deck and main deck. We're playing the 1-of Dragite. I think it's really good. Ideally, I'd like to get Chi-Chao, Dragite, and Baron if I can get 3 synchros on board. Really good. You have to have Moe in the grave because it has to have water attribute monster in the grave in order to get its once turn spell and trap negate. But yep, really good card. Another 1-of, we got Draco Berserker of the Tenyi. What can I say about him? He's a worm, so if you're worm locked, he's an option. He goes in for game. He's interruption. Just really good card. He probably needs a reprint here soon because after everybody started making Swordsoul, when Mavens came out, he went up a bit. I don't know what he's out right now, but we got the 1-of Chao Fang to play around Nibiru if we want. It's just there as a 1-of. But yeah, Chao Fang's good. 1-of for the first level 10. We got Sinister Qing Longwan. He's an interruption. He's an extra draw. If you want to really gamble, you can go into him first. Not play around Nibiru, I guess. I guess formats where Nibiru's not played, he's really good because you can go into him first, and then for every worm synchro you synchro after that, you get to draw a card. And then on your opponent's turn, or I guess for his other effects, it's both turns, but he's a once per turn banish a special summon monster and burn 12, and he's a once per turn banish a spell or trap and burn 1200. Yep, really good. But for the one that's a little more, that I use a little more, I think most people use a little more, Changing, he's actually generic too, so you can go in any deck, one tuner, one non-tuner. The other one does require a worm non-tuner, but he's really good. Yeah, what can I say about him? If you use Blackout on him, he actually can protect himself, and then you get 2 pops of Blackout, and then the remove on field plus the remove on grave. Just really good card, but don't really ever miss the second. For the new guy, we got Ice Jade Geimer Aegirine, something like that. It's a generic level 10. It's not a worm, so you can't make it if you're worm locked. But yeah, it's a good protection piece. It's quick effect to make all your face-up monsters not be able to be banished or destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Then if you activate in response, it gains some additional effects. It can come back from the grave if a card's banished on the field. Just a really, really good card in, I guess, niche scenarios. Like I said, you can use protection, and then once it's your turn, you can just normal summon Veiler and go into Psychic and Punisher and go for a game or whatever. A lot of different options there. The one of Baron de Fleur. Honestly, sometimes you wish you have 2, but 1 is fine. You want more options in your extra deck, so that's why you really only want 2 of Monk and Chi-Chao, Baxia. Just the ones you really don't want to not have 2 of. But yeah, there's so many level 10s now, but Baron is absolutely mandatory. Omni Negate, once per turn pop. Yeah, just really good. And then the reason we're playing Veiler, you can also go into it if you're not worm locked by using a Swordsoul token and a level 7 Tenyi. That adds up to level 11 as well. But yeah, while your life points are lower or equal than your opponent's, it's unaffected by card effects. You can pay 1,000 life points, banish a monster you control, and a card your opponent controls. Banish them. Then at the start of the battle phase, if your life points are lower than your opponent, you can gain the difference. So you don't have to if you're trying to keep your monster from being unaffected. But overall, it is really good. Yeah, a lot of builds don't play this, but I am playing it. If I wasn't playing this and I wasn't playing Veiler, I really don't know what I'd put in. Maybe Shaman, the other link, but I do miss Shaman at times. But yeah, overall, I think Psychic and Punisher is just really good generic synchro, so I wouldn't be caught without him. All right, guys, let me get into the extra deck real quick. I do think you should always gear your extra deck based off of your own locals. You know your friends there. You know what they play. You know what everybody's on. Based off the meta, too. That's why I just got a generic one for you guys today. 3 Solemn Judgment going first. 3 D-Berry going first. D-Berry is really good. If you guys don't want to play these, you can play other Floodgates, Anti-Spell Fragrance. Gravity Collapse is one that's specific for synchros. That's really good. It's a counter trap that basically lets you, when your opponent special or normal summons or special monster, or just summons in general, you get to tribute a synchro you control, and then for the rest of the turn they can't summon monsters at all. So 1 step ahead of Scythe, just any monster in general. It's really amazing. I used to play it, but yeah, I might put it back in. 3 Droll, since it's really good this format and next format. We did pull the Collector's Rare out of Tactical Masters the other day in one of our box openings, so if I can get the focus. But anyways, yeah, Droll Lockbird's really good. So yeah, we got some different hand trap options. Then just for some generic going second cards, we got 2 Dark Ruler, Harpies, Change of Heart, yeah, and then 2 Lightning Storm. So that's a 15 on the dot. Yeah, play what you guys know is best at your locals. Don't just copy people's lists because you want to play whatever's best for the format or your own tournament. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Leave a like, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys didn't like, what you did like, and yeah, we'll be getting out this gameplay for you guys soon. Peace out.